Hey, I'm Jamie East, and today's episode of The Smart 7 is sponsored by Vodafone Business in partnership with Samsung. If you're running a business, any kind of business, you're probably spending some time thinking about AI, what to do, how much to use it, and how to even get started. The answer could be in your pocket. The new Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, powered by Vodafone Business's reliable, award-winning network, will help you unleash your productivity through brilliant built-in Galaxy AI. For example, Note Assist will automatically correct, fix the spelling, formatting and organise your meeting notes so you can stay tuned into the session without any worry. This week saw a surprising new fan of AI as Abbas Bjornulveus revealed at South by Southwest in London that he's been using AI to help generate new material, although he warned it's really bad at lyrics. Mamma mia. Getting back to the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, to take advantage of all the features and change the way you do business, you'll need a Samsung account and a network connection. To find out more, search Vodafone Business Samsung, and for network verification, go to vodafone.co.uk/network. On today's Smart 7, Labour officially U-turn on winter fuel, NATO chief warns of Russia threat and much more. It's Tuesday 10th of June, it's National Iced Tea Day, and happy birthday Tinchy Strider.
The Smart 7. It's news, but not the news.
Wednesday will see Chancellor Rachel Reeves officially reveal her first spending review. It'll set out major departments' budgets for the next number of years, but on Monday she was keen to clean up one of the outstanding issues that's plagued her term. She announced a U-turn on the winter fuel allowance, which will see more than 3/4 of pensioners receive the payment. It will still be means tested, but the income level will be set at £35,000.
I was always clear that the number one priority of this government was to return stability to the economy. Our public finances are now in a better position, which means that this year we're able to pay the winter fuel payment to more pensioners, so 9 million will receive it this year.
The U-turn was mocked by Tory leader Kemi Badenoch, who called it humiliating, but with Labour concerned about poll numbers and the growth of reform, it had to be done. That didn't entirely satisfy the Labour backbenchers though, and MP Rachel Maskell was keen that the amount paid out also needs to be looked at.
Of course, we must recognise, however, that the energy price cap has risen by £281. I do ask that the government look at the amount people are getting, because clearly even £200 won't cover those costs.
Los Angeles continued to be the focus of a power struggle between Donald Trump and California Governor Gavin Newsom on Monday. Protests continued in the city after a series of immigration raids, including one at a high school graduation, and Trump escalated tensions by sending in the National Guard and a deployment of up to 700 US Marines. California Governor Newsom and LA Mayor Karen Bass have called for the troops to go, with Newsom suggesting Trump arrest him instead. Speaking on his way back to the White House, Trump appeared to like the idea and took the opportunity to mock the governor, who he refers to as new scum in social posts.
I like Gavin Newsom. He's a nice guy, but he's grossly incompetent. Everybody knows. All you have to do is look at the little railroad he's building. It's about 100 times over budget. We're putting a flagpole over there. Under budget. I always do under budget.
The protests on Monday were mostly peaceful, and there were people on the streets of Dallas too, but Democrat Senator Chris Murphy says the protests are not the issue.
Everything that's happened in the last 7 days between the fight with Elon Musk and now the deployment of the National Guard is probably also a distraction from the main story, which is that right now Donald Trump is trying to pass probably the most unpopular piece of legislation that he will attempt to move through Congress.
Life as a member of Nigel Farage's Reform Party must be exhausting. For a party which only has 5 MPs, there seems to be a never-ending series of mini-rebellions and failed coup attempts against the Brexiteer-in-chief, Nigel. The latest to quit and then just as quickly return was chairman and donor Zia Yusuf, who exited Reform for approximately 72 hours in what appears to have been crossed wires over a burqa ban. Zia returned to the party with a new job title and what sounded suspiciously like a David Brent-inspired telling off from The Boss.
Was I annoyed with Zia on Thursday? Well, I wasn't exactly chuffed. But you know what? People make mistakes. And he came back to me and honestly said, look, I'm really sorry. And I've forgiven him, and we move on.
June is a busy month for international diplomacy, with the G7 summit next week in Canada and the NATO summit due to take place in Holland a week later at The Hague. Donald Trump and US Defence Secretary Pete Hegseth have been cranking up the pressure on NATO members to increase defence spending and commit more resources to supporting Ukraine. The UK has committed to a 3% defence budget with a planned rise to 3.5%, but that may not be enough to keep pace with world events. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte was in London on Monday, where he met with Keir Starmer and spoke at Chatham House to warn that the threat the West faces is very real.
Russia could be ready to use military force against NATO within 5 years. 5 years. Let's not kid ourselves. We are all on the eastern flank now.
Still to come on today's Smart 7 in association with Metro, Luke Skywalker hangs up his lightsaber and Andy Murray reveals his new hobby. Right after this.
This is a paid advertisement from Asda. You know those weeknights where everything feels like a rush? Homework to finish, bath time chaos, kids running riot, and somehow you've still got to make dinner too. It's the classic parenting juggle. Well, this is where Joe Wicks and Asda come in as the heroes we didn't know we needed. Joe's teamed up with Asda to create quick, easy, budget-friendly meal ideas that are delicious. Think sticky chicken noodles, Mexican meatball tray bakes, creamy salmon pasta, real food that's quick to rustle up, tasty and budget-friendly. Because sometimes the biggest win of the day is getting the whole family fed and still having 5 minutes to yourself before bedtime negotiations begin. Whether you're feeding fussy toddlers or grumpy teenagers, Joe Wicks meal picks take the stress out of dinner time. Search Joe Wicks meal picks at asda.com now to see what your lot will love. That's Asda price.
Welcome back.
Andy Murray was back on a tennis court on Monday at the Queen's Club, but not to play tennis. Instead, he was officially opening the Centre Court, which has been renamed in his honour. The Queen's Club tournament runs for the next 2 weeks as a warm-up to Wimbledon, and for the first time since 1973, there's a women's event as well as the men's. Andy says his tennis is diabolical these days as he takes a well-deserved rest from the racket. He sat down with Claire Balding to reveal his new passion playing chess with his son.
It's difficult losing to a 5-year-old when in the middle of the game he's asking you to come and wipe his bum. Essentially, he's going to the toilet in the middle of the game, and then he comes back and is beating me at chess. It's humbling that for my intelligence.
Last week saw the original Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill, announce his retirement from the Star Wars franchise. He's had a good run, appearing in movies, animated series, and the Disney Plus Star Wars spin-offs. And now at 73, he's decided to hang up his lightsaber for good. To celebrate his retirement, he popped up with Kelly Clarkson to tell some cute stories about his 46-year marriage to his former dental hygienist, Marilou York. On an early date, they went to the cinema, but Marilou was more interested in the dental work than the power of Vader.
And I said, I did this movie. Do you want to go see it? And she goes, what's it called? I said, Star Wars. Early on, Vader comes in, and Richard La Parmentier, he says, Lord Vader, your sorcerer's ways have not revealed the location of the hidden rebel base. She doesn't take her eyes off the screen, but she leans over to me and goes, bad caps.
There's a new heist movie on the way, and for once the criminal mastermind is female. Keke Palmer has been on a great run recently with her movie One of Them Days, turning into a surprise box office hit. In The Pickup, she takes on Eddie Murphy and Pete Davidson, two hapless armoured car drivers who are no match for Keke's schemes. It's produced and directed by Tim Story, the man behind Barbershop and the Ride Along series, and it's due to drop on Prime Video on August 6th.
Change of plans. You two are going to help me steal $60 million from the casino. Because if you don't, your wife's dead.
If you let us go, I'll let you bang my twin sister. She looks like me with long hair.
You trying to get us shot?
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day.
Give us 7 minutes and we'll give you the world.
Hey, this is Jonathan Fields, host of the Good Life Project podcast.
Boost Mobile reminds me of what I love, when someone reimagines what's possible. They have invested billions in building America's newest 5G network, becoming the country's fourth major carrier. They are doing things differently, offering a $25 monthly unlimited plan that never increases in price and letting you try their service risk-free for 30 days. With blazing fast 5G and plans for all the latest devices, they're changing the game. Visit your nearest Boost Mobile store or find them online at boostmobile.com. The Boost Mobile network, together with their roaming partners, covers 99% of the U.S. population. 5G speeds not available in all areas.